So I just finished reading my first Thomas Sowell book, which was Civil Rights, Rhetoric or Reality, and it is just fantastic. It's a book that really just makes one key point and just spends the entire book. It's only 150 pages. It was quite small. It reads really easily. I read it in 2 days. It just drives the point home. It's just source after source, reference after reference. It's just one minor point that the whole book is just references and sources and just all kinds of different examples and explanations and times where it just gives examples to back up his point, which is that we cannot expect parity. When fighting for equality, when we're fighting for equality and we see two groups and they're different, and say some are, like when we're talking about the wage gap or racism or that kind of thing. I see so many of these equality advocates completely missing the point. They think the goal should be 50-50. And the whole point of Thomas Sowell's book is to say, we don't know what it could be. We don't know if it should be 50-50. In fact, we don't know if this disparity is caused by racism. He points out early in the beginning that there's kind of a false dichotomy that these activists have. They think that either groups are equal, which means any difference is discrimination, or they think if they're unequal, that one is inferior to the other, which just isn't the case. I mean, take men and women, for example. We know they're different in at least the very basic ways because we can at least tell the difference between the two, so they're at least different in physical appearance. We know that one can bear children, the other can't, those kind of things. And the point is that we know these groups are different, but to say that one is inferior to the other is ridiculous. So if you're someone with this false dichotomy and you believe that all groups are equal and you see a difference, then it automatically defaults to discrimination. And Thomas Sowell's point is just example after example after example, just case after case after case, just one after the other of, hey, here's all of these so many different examples where there are differences, and it doesn't look like discrimination is the answer here. He goes back to different immigrant groups in the United States. He talks about the Chinese minorities in East Asian countries and how they tend to do very well for themselves. And just plenty of other examples. It's really neat. Like he states in the beginning that it was really just meant to be an article, but he just found more and more and more research and just kept adding to it, and eventually it just became a lot bigger than what could be fit into one article. It's a surprisingly short book. Like I said, I read it in 2 days, but I recommend it. Like, I've never read a Thomas Sowell book before, and so with him coming out with his new book, I picked up this one for cheap. It's great. And again, the whole point is just to say that we don't know what's causing these disparities. We don't know entirely why certain groups are unequal. And he's not even saying that the answer is not discrimination. He's just saying there are other factors and we need to figure it out. He's saying we cannot just jump right to discrimination. That it probably is in play. There's probably some discrimination, but we have no idea how big of a factor it is. It's just fantastic. I've left a link in the description if you want to buy the book. I don't get any money from this at all. This isn't paid. This is me just saying, hey, I enjoyed the book. So if you read the book, let me know in the comments what you think. If you read any other Thomas Sowell books, recommend them in the description. And thanks for watching.